Bob's Fix-It Shop. So today I've got this iPhone XS Max, and it's got a busted back glass panel, right? And the reason it's busted is because putting glass in the back of a phone is really stupid, but that's just my opinion. But the front is also broken. It's my daughter's phone. She got a different phone because this is like the third screen that's been on this one. So I decided, so this back screen is really hard to get off, right? And they have things like lasers that get it off. And so when she had the phone and was using it, I didn't want to try to take this off. And I said, just put a case on it, right? And but since you got a different phone, I thought it might be a fun time to try to figure out if I can get this off and just see how hard it really is to get off. And there's all kinds of videos on this using liquid nitrogen and all that goofy stuff like that. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a try and see what my opinion of it is. So if you're interested, hang on and watch. I don't think it'll be a very long video. So Apple, in its brilliant wisdom, used an epoxy to glue this back screen on. And, you know, you could take, like, you know, obviously wear safety glasses with this, but you can kind of take a little razor blade and just kind of work at it like that, right? The other thing I tried is like using a hot soldering iron to just, because I don't want to heat the phone, I just want to heat the glass and the epoxy, holding that on like that. And, you know, and then it does kind of come up a little bit. Right, but you got to break it. Let's try that a little bit more. I just want to get the glass super hot and the glue super hot. And that does work, but of course glass goes everywhere. The other thing is gonna try is I've got this engraver, right? And I did find it was kind of useful. Okay, so now we're going to speed things up a little bit. And, you know, you can see I'm just starting to kind of get to the edge of the charging coil. And I wasn't careful enough. And when I hit that charging coil, I broke the wire. So just be really careful about that. But you can see that there's quite a bit of glue up there on the right side. And but yeah, this thing's working pretty good. Now this is sped up about 4 times, and 4 times faster than it really was. So you can see I'm actually moving along pretty good. There's quite a bit of glass. You got to move quite a bit of glass around the camera piece. And if I would do it again, I'd put a little piece of tape over the glass of the camera, just because there's a lot of little dust and chips that come out. And the glass is really sharp, really sharp. And so yeah, but let's see. Here I'm trying to soldering iron again. And the soldering iron does not work great. I thought I could maybe loosen it up. But yeah, that's not working very great. I don't think it really transfers the heat very well. But yeah, that's not working that well. But now, I started kind of trying to peel back over the charging coil. But then wisely, I just left it. Because when you get all the glass off the bottom side, then all that stuff will just come right off. So here I am with the little engraver. And it's just a cheap engraver I got at the hardware store, right? For doing other kinds of engraving. And yeah, I think I have it on high, but yeah, so now I'm working around that coil. Because once I work all the way around it, then all those pieces will just fall right off. Or there's like a little thin membrane between them. Now, if the glass is held on by all that epoxy, right? And that's what is really hard to get off. But around the outside, I think there's another kind of glue that can be kind of softened up with heat. So I think we'll see that in a little while, that around the edges, I use heat to pull that stuff off. And I don't think there was as much glue on the bottom part. Because yeah, look how fast it's coming off. Yeah, that other kind of glue I was talking about, if you look in the what is now the upper right-hand corner, that's why that glass is sticking, because that glue isn't quite as brittle, and that's in the. I'll show. I have to heat that up to get that off. Yeah, I see how close I got to the edge of the charging coil. That's what I should have done on the top part. Yeah, there it goes. And I think this clip was about 35 minutes long, and it's going about 4 times faster than normal. So it really didn't take too long to get all that glass off. So like I said, on the outside, there's kind of a different kind of glue that's holding the pieces in. And that whole kind of corner that I'm heating up right there, that's glued in with that other kind of glue. And so through that kind of outside channel, you just got to kind of work it and just heat it up and clean the channel out, heat it up. And, a flat screwdriver, kind of a small one, kind of works for that as well. But I don't want to heat the phone up too much, right? So I'm trying to keep it kind of directional. But here you can see I warmed it up and then it comes right out. That's the kind of glue they should have used on the whole thing, right? And the engraver doesn't work as well here because this glue has a little bit of give, so it just kind of moves around. But trying the old soldering iron again. Yeah, and I should have just heated it. Here I'm having trouble getting it out, but I think really just using the heat gun would have gotten that off, because it's like you can see that it's not the epoxy, it's the other type of glue. I must be getting the angle down right at this point because it's coming out pretty quick. And you want to, with the engraver, you can actually engrave into the metal plate, and you just kind of want to keep it at an angle so that you're really kind of attacking the edge of the glass. It's a little bit hard to see from the overhead camera like this. But yeah, look at all those tiny pieces of glass. Yep, just working my way around that charging port. And there's kind of a membrane between the charging port and the glass. And I didn't realize that when I started. And around the camera, you do have to do quite a bit of cleanup around the camera like that. Oh yeah, cleanup time. Yeah, there I am trying to clean that channel out, and that channel has to be completely clean. Otherwise, there's two places. There's around the camera, but then also around this channel where you really have to clean it out. Otherwise, the new glass won't really stick. And I just bought the glass from Amazon. I'll put a link for it below. And it wasn't very expensive. But like I said, I didn't dare. Now that this phone isn't being used, I thought I'd try it. But yeah, I didn't dare do that while it was in use. And the phone's good. You know, it came out of it and with shining colors, right? Which kind of surprised me a little bit. Yep. You see how that I'm just heating it up and then sliding the knife. You can actually clean it up pretty well. But it has to be, if anything sticks up at all, then it pushes that glass upwards and it doesn't set down. So you can like take the glass, put it on there, and you can see where you have to do more work. Yeah, and the cover came with, if you look straight above my left hand, there's kind of a blue, weird knife-looking thing next to the razor blade. They sent that along, and it's completely worthless. It doesn't do anything, right? I mean, there's no getting through that epoxy with a knife. Yeah, but now it's really just kind of putsy getting all that cleanup around the lens. Heat it up, clean it out, heat it up, cleaning up. And those two corners on the top, they took quite a bit of time to get those cleaned out. But I think the glue they used around here is the glue they used around the outside. And I don't think I have my heat gun set that hot. Yep, there's the glass. Yeah, a lot of cleanup around around that camera. A lot of the sticky glue. So you see how it's kind of pink there? That means that it's still the foil on there, and there's glue, the foil from underneath the glass, and that means there's still glue in place. So whenever you see that pink gold stuff up in the corners, where it's on top of the epoxy, later I sand that off. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of putsy work there. Try to be kind of careful around that camera with the hot air gun. So here I'm trying to take that centerpiece off, and you just have to get the edges up because there's kind of a rubber membrane between the glass and the charger. And that looks pretty good, except that I tore the wire. If you look right at about, if the top of the phone is 12 o'clock, if you look at about 1 o'clock, you can see that the, the end of the coil is disconnected. There I am trying to push it down, irritated that I broke it. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So it looks like this is a set of parallel coils that wind around like here for the charging. And then they come out here and then they're connected. And obviously that would mean that they come back, right? So that this is almost like a center tap. And I think I just need to, I mean, if it doesn't work, I don't care, right? I mean, I never used it anyway, but I'm going to try to solder it back down to there. I've got some copper foil that I'm going to use to kind of spread that out a little bit. So, and of course my advice is don't do that. All right, so I might have repaired that. I don't know. I put a little piece of foil on there. Tried to, I mean, doesn't look like any of the wires are broken, but we've got some big I mean, they're pretty messed up there. I don't know what it takes to really replace this, but it doesn't matter to me, right? So then, really had to do a lot of work to clean. I just took a screwdriver here and cleaned up these channels here because there's a lot of gunk in there. And then these corners here, they were tough to get out. And this one I still don't think is 100% right, but here we go. I've checked it too, right? So checked all the corners and all this, and that all seems to come together pretty well. All right, well, pull the trigger, I guess. All right, well, there it is. All right, well, that's it for Rob's Fix-It Shop with this iPhone XS Max doing the back screen. And like I say, there's a billion videos for this, but I thought I'd try it by using this engraver, and it seemed to work pretty good. Took me about an hour or so to get the screen off, and about another half an hour to clean and all that crap out of there, but it does seem to work pretty good. Now I got to work on the front, which is a nightmare, and then never let it near a kid again. So, oh, and I also have to put a new lens on here. But anyways, if you liked it, please hit like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.